Tuesday, it was a bit of a roller coaster because we knew that we most likely would not have results until days after the election. We didn't know how soon, but we knew it probably wouldn't be on Tuesday night. However, there seemed to be this shock factor in that President Trump on Tuesday night was performing better than anyone really expected, which he did during the election. President Trump was able to galvanize his base and maybe even bring in more people to his base. Now, was it enough for him to win? Obviously not, but he was able to do that. So on Tuesday night, we saw that President Trump was doing well. And I think that while we were surprised in the moment, it really wasn't unexpected because President Trump and Republicans had, told their voters to get out and vote on election day in person or do early in-person voting. And obviously those ballots are counted before the mail-in votes are counted. And we know that Democrats had been urging their supporters, Biden supporters, to vote by mail because of the pandemic. So I think a lot of Biden support, those in the Biden orbit, Democratic supporters, there might have been some anxiety, but I think there's a reason why the Biden campaign said, let's stay calm. We still have a lot more to go. Things got very tumultuous on Tuesday night around 2:30 in the morning when President Trump essentially declared victory falsely in the East Room of the White House. Major contests had not been called. We were obviously waiting on Pennsylvania. There was some confusion because Arizona was called by the Associated Press. A lot of the networks hadn't called it at that point. We see that, there are still votes being counted all around the country, but the lead in Arizona Biden's lead continues to narrow. That's not going to change his win because Biden already has enough electoral votes without Arizona. But that was leading to some confusion. Now, Georgia at the Senate and presidential election was where things got a little hairy because we know that there's obviously going to be a recount in Georgia right now and that both of the Senate races are going to runoffs. Now, even if Democrats ultimately lose Georgia, which it doesn't look like they will at this point at the presidential level, we don't know what's going to happen at the Senate level, the fact that both of these races are going to runoffs and that they did perform so well at the presidential level shows that Georgia has really turned into a bit of a purple state right now. So, we're in this weird holding pattern, I think, right now, because obviously Biden has declared victory. He is the president-elect. Kamala Harris has made history as the first woman, the first Black person, the first person of South Asian descent to hold the vice presidency, which is major, and that should be highlighted. But at the same time, President Trump hasn't conceded, and he technically doesn't have to concede. There's nothing in the Constitution that says a president or a candidate or a sitting president must concede defeat at this point, but he's challenging it with a number of legal challenges and such. So you essentially, in a way, have an incoming White House and a sitting White House that are really at odds with one another. And that's a bit concerning because traditionally, you see, like you saw 4 years ago with the Obama administration, they coordinate with the incoming White House. They let them know how things work, where to find, important pieces of information, protocol, all of that. And that needs to happen. I think Biden's team is probably in a good position because Biden was vice president for 8 years, 4 years ago. But it's still a little concerning that the Trump team has yet to concede. I've talked to some Republican strategists who have said, look, give President Trump a week, 2 weeks, and he'll eventually come around. But we don't really see any sign of that yet. Looking at President Trump's Twitter account, he's not, he's given no sign of conceding. So we're in this very weird holding pattern.